on, guys? My name is Josh Brown. I'm here at JTech, and today I'm going to show you how to do a supplemental restraint system and how to disconnect it. First things first, what you want to do is you want to look up the disconnecting procedure on ProDemand and either print it out or just keep the computer there if you don't have access to a printer. Next thing on this car, what you want to do is you want to disconnect the battery cable, the negative battery cable, and you want to wait a few minutes while it sits there so that way everything can just like deactivate. Okay, so once you have the battery disconnected on the negative cable, you're going to want to pull the panel off down here, and you are going to see a couple of wires and a coupling. The coupling is the one main thing you want to disconnect because it goes directly to the airbag. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look on the side here, and as you can see, it is set up for 2 bolts on both sides. And once you take those out, depending on what size the nut is, then this should just come completely out once you have it disconnected. And there you have the removal of an airbag in a car. Okay, so now that you replace the airbag, you want to do the same thing in reverse. You want to put the airbag on the wheel, and then you want to go ahead and take the bolts and put one on this side and one on the other side. Then you want to go ahead and reconnect the harness right here and make sure that's good and secure. Then you want to go ahead and come around and go to the battery and reconnect the negative terminal, and you want to wait for a few minutes. Make sure everything, all power is good and everything like that. Okay, so now to disconnect the passenger side airbag, what you want to do is you want to disconnect the negative battery cable, and you want to wait a couple minutes for all the electronics to die down and make sure everything doesn't go hot. Then you want to come underneath here, and you have a coupling right here that you got to disconnect. But first things first, you got to take the glove box and you got to pull that down, and you got to disconnect the coupling. Then you have a couple of bolts in here that you have to take out. Then what you have to do is you have to take off the A-pillar trim piece, as you can see right here. Then you have clips in here that you need to pry off but not break. And then all you do is you just pull this out. It usually takes about 2 hands. And here you have the passenger side airbag mechanism. Okay, so now for the reinstallation of the airbag, you want to go ahead and put the airbag and the panel that it came out of on top first. Then you want to go ahead and put the A-pillar trim back on. And you want to come down here and you want to make sure that these studs go through the slots here and the harness comes through, otherwise it won't fit properly. Then you want to go ahead and put the nut right here back on the stud, reconnect the coupling here. Then you want to go ahead and close your glove box. It'll just snap right back in place. And then you want to come around and reconnect your negative battery cable, and there you go. Your airbag is now back in place.